Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first time clicking on one of my videos today, welcome. So I thought obviously by the title of this video, I'm just going to sit down and do a bit of a 20-week update. I'm almost actually 21 weeks. On Saturday I'll be 21 weeks. I just thought I'll sit down, and it's hard to find the time, especially with having Harper, our 19-month-old daughter. So yeah, to find the time. So if you're new here, just a quick recap. This is my third pregnancy. I'm 32 years old now. So yeah, a lot different to my previous two pregnancies. So I'm really excited to sit down and just have a chat with you all. It's not very often I do sit down chat videos. If you're new here to my channel, I often do homemaking, cooking, cleaning, organising, things like that here on my channel. So yeah, just the odd sit down chat style video. Now I do have my notebook because I've wrote notes down, just because when I do these sit down chat videos, I do have a tendency to get sidetracked very easily and waffle onto other things not relatively necessary to what we're talking about. So I thought if I've got points written down in front of me, I can stay on track to keep it to a decent length video for all of you today. So okay, firstly, we're going to talk about a mixture of things. Now, I don't have a great deal to talk about, but it's, yeah, all I can say is I have a different appreciation, a different look towards pregnant women that already have children, because I had no idea how exhausting it actually is. And yeah, it's, I mean, like anything, you have your good and your bad days. Some days you're feeling great, and then other days you just can't be to do anything. So yeah, so we're going to be talking about all things exercise. Now, exercise is probably a huge thing, a huge difference in this pregnancy than my previous two. So yeah, we're going to talk about exercise, obviously my energy levels and motivation or lack of, and heartburn. I've had my 20-week ultrasound, the anatomy scan. So I had that, I was actually 19 weeks and a few days when I had that scan done, because I was seeing my midwife after that. So she wanted me to have that scan done before I seen her. Things like anxiety, worry around this pregnancy that I don't feel was as prominent with my second pregnancy, our daughter Harper, who's 19 months old. Yeah, it's just, I don't know if it's as you get older or what, but yeah, just your whole mindset shifts and you look at things differently, I guess. But yeah, so first things first, I want to talk about the exercise, because exercise has been huge for me. It's such a huge thing in this pregnancy, a huge change. I was exercising primarily the same for the first couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden just come to a complete stop, and I just have not sort of gone back to it since. However, yesterday I did try because I love using dumbbells, weights, things like that in my workouts. I always have. Yeah, and I really like the HIIT, the high pace sort of exercises. So, however, I've still been walking because I like to take my dog and Harper out on a stroll to get out of the house and things like that. So I've still been walking, but to me, after the way I've been exercising for the last 4 or 5 years, that is very light exercise for me. So yeah, but I did try this gentle prenatal workout here on YouTube. I'll have her channel linked in the description box below for anybody that's perhaps pregnant or may want to try that. You know me, you know I love Heather Robinson here on YouTube. I love her workouts. That's who I've been following along with for the last few years. So I've completely shifted that just for the moment to this woman who, yeah, does gentle prenatal exercises. So it's taken me a bit, but just that little bit of some sort of exercise really does help my personality type. So yeah, I've been enjoying that. Like I said, I only did it yesterday, so we'll see how I go with that. But at least I know, you know, they're designed for me, you know, and women in pregnancy. So yeah, completely safe. But by all means, consult with your midwife or GP before exercising or anything like that, especially during pregnancy. Yesterday, I must say I quite enjoyed it, so that's something, that's a start. I probably won't exercise every day like I was previous to this pregnancy. However, with Harper, my second pregnancy, I worked out the whole way through. So yeah, this has been a whole big change for me around exercise. That's the exercise part of it. And then the last week or so I've been having heartburn. Now, excuse me, I remember getting this with Harper and with our first baby, our first son, Bentley, but it feels like it was much later on. Now, I was, keeping in mind, I was 21 when I had our first son, Bentley, so there's a huge difference there, huge gap. So yeah, the heartburn. Now, I've just been honestly having Gaviscon. My mum swears to me through all my pregnancies, she said, the bicarb in water, and I have tried it, but it's just a lot easier, I guess, to grab the Gaviscon. But yeah, heartburn and indigestion, things like that, is not something I ever really suffer with. It's definitely just a pregnancy symptom of mine. So yeah, anyway, we just deal with that. I find on the days that I'm working sitting down in the obviously seated position, it obviously gets worse. But yeah, we just deal with that. I know obviously it'll pass. I feel I'm showing a lot quicker this third pregnancy, and I know they say that, you know, as each pregnancy goes on, that you do show quicker and sooner, and that's definitely, I believe, the case. Because I remember with Harper, our second baby, I was at work and I got to 20 weeks before anyone picked up on anything that I work with. So yeah, that's just how I know. And I mean, you can definitely tell that I'm pregnant just sitting here now, not even seeing me in full view. You can tell that I'm pregnant. I definitely feel it. I feel uncomfortable already, and I'm just so thankful I'm halfway. Yeah, and people have, like, I've always heard that when you've got other children, your pregnancies seem to go quicker. But I mean, I think in the sense that you're that busy with those other children that you sort of some days forget. Yeah, I think in that sense it may go quicker, but I don't feel that this has gone quicker for me. And to be honest, I felt like I've whinged a lot during this pregnancy. I feel for my poor husband because I feel like I have whinged a lot. So yeah, just overall lack of motivation. Like some days I have heaps of motivation, and that's usually when I'll smash out a YouTube video, film a YouTube video when my daughter's napping. And then other days it's just hard even just to pick up her toys and that, you know, sort of at the end of the day. I actually come out last night of the bedroom and my husband had tidied up the lounge room, God bless him, with the toys that she'd had out from that day. So I think you're thankful for the little things. Yeah, and whereas before being pregnant, I'm a real active go-go, sort of don't stop sort of person. So yeah, it's been a full change for me as far as everything like that goes. Yeah, and you sort of just feel like you're just chasing your tail, you're not getting anywhere, which is hard for me because yeah, I've always been somebody that sets out to do something on a particular day and usually would manage to get through all of all of those things I've set out to do for the day. So that's been a whole new learning curve for me, and I've had to just accept it for what it is at the moment. Yeah. And then now the other thing is sort of a lot of worry, anxiety during this pregnancy. If you're new here, early last year I had an ectopic pregnancy. I talk about that more in more detail in my Finding Out I'm Pregnant video, so I'll link that in the description box below too for if that's something that interests you and you want to check that one out. But yeah, even though I've had the scans, and we just had the 19-week scan, and Bub was moving around perfectly fine, everything measured fine, you know, they checked obviously liver, kidneys, feet, toes, hands, all of that, everything's fine. He's completely fine, heartbeat's where he should be for, you know, the weeks that I am and everything like that. I still just feel there is always in the back of your mind, you just feel, and I've never really felt him so much. They did tell me at an earlier scan that my placenta is laying in the front, so it might take later on in the pregnancy before I feel him moving around, and that I have here and there, but not like a continual constant feel of him moving around. But yeah, so there's that with this pregnancy. And then there's also the sort of overthinking, worrying, because I'm a real overthinker, overthinking, worrying about having 2 children at once, especially being, well, Harper will turn 2 in August and baby is due end of July, so pretty close together. And Harper has days where she'll go off really well and play for a good amount of time by herself and things like that. Then she has a lot of days where she's very around me, clingy, and yeah, just always wants to be involved. So this is sort of something that is always on my mind, obviously, especially during this pregnancy. And yeah, I mean, I have a very close girlfriend who's got 3 children, and yeah, like I just look up to her so much, and she also works part-time. Last 2 months on and off, not a continual constant thing, but I've sort of felt, the way I explain it is a bit like a UTI, urinary tract infection, but I don't have, you know, the full symptoms of a UTI, like when you obviously do a wee, things like that. There's stinging associated with that, which I don't have that necessarily. It's more the pressure feel down there, and I feel like I can't get comfortable. Sort of laying down isn't comfortable, only really sitting on the toilet in that position is comfortable, and yeah, just feeling like you need to wee a bit more than normally, which is already a normal thing during pregnancy. But yeah, so anyway, I've had obviously a urine sample and that come back perfectly fine, so there's no infection or anything there. But yeah, that's just something that I find to be more annoying than anything, and obviously worrying, concerning before I had the urine sample. And as far as food goes, I don't really have necessarily any cravings now, but before being pregnant I usually ate pretty well. Like, I consider myself a pretty clean, healthy eater, and then since being pregnant this time, I don't know if it's like associated with the lack of energy levels and everything like that, you sort of reach for that more junky, crappy, unhealthy food. But yeah, I've sort of felt more like the unhealthy food. Like, probably during this whole pregnancy up to date, I've probably had McDonald's twice, which is, McDonald's is not something that I think to go for type thing. If I'm going to eat a meal like that, I prefer to go out somewhere and eat, you know, restaurant, pub, something like that. But yeah, so just feeling like the really easy, crappy junk food. I try and eat, you know, a fair amount of fruits and veggies on the days where I'm really feeling like that, so I take advantage of that. Yeah, and I find my nails have been, which I did find that with my first pregnancy and then my second, my nails grew really well. I actually had to cut them the other day, but my nails grow really well, but a few months ago I had my hair cut. It was really quite long and I had it cut up really quite short, which I was all for at the time. And then, you know, a few days after I got it done, I was like, oh, I wish I didn't do that. Like, yeah, I just miss my long hair. But anyway, I have found my hair this pregnancy not growing as quick. It's probably because I really want it to as well. Whereas before, with my other 2 pregnancies, I had relatively medium length hair, so it probably wasn't an issue. But yeah, I just really want it to grow this time probably too, I guess. So yeah, that's just a little thing. I found I've been getting sidetracked a lot. When I go off and do something, I'll get sidetracked and then think, oh, I've done half the drying up, and then I'm over here folding up clothes, and yeah, just real like brain fog schmozzled type feeling. That's just a symptom, I guess. I don't know, because I wasn't like it so much before. I was real organised, yeah, knew what I was set out to do, and I focused on that type thing. But yeah, just feel really all over the shop most days. Just to, you know, give some insight to anybody else that may be 20 weeks pregnant, and because I know during my pregnancies have loved watching videos like this. And even when I wasn't pregnant, sort of even when I was just thinking, you know, when we're trying to get pregnant, things like that, I sort of, yeah, would search these videos in YouTube. So, and if you are here today watching and you are pregnant, I'd love for you to leave me a comment down below and let me know how far along you are. That would be lovely to hear from you. And if you're new here and you enjoyed this style of video, I would really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button and giving this video a big thumbs up. Now, I probably won't update again till much later on, because I did 20-week pregnancy update, which I'll also link in the description box below for you to check out. And then obviously this 20-week update, and then I'll do one much later on, yeah, and see what else has changed, I guess, and how I'm feeling and how the pregnancy's going. I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. Bye for now.